Colleagues, welcome back to the office and welcome to our presentation and podcast for today. My name is Steve Yoss and I will be your instructor and guide for our presentation, which is the fourth installment of our small business accounting shootout. In this class, we are looking at examining the various different accounting tools, products, and services that can complement your accounting product. There are a variety of tools that are out there, from managing customer experiences to managing documents, expense reconciliation, and more. It's important to understand essentially what these different tools are, how they function, and what they serve. In this class specifically, we're looking at the accounting packages themselves, and there are a ton that are out there. There are tools that can manage just about every aspect of your organization, from financial reporting, budgeting, to just about everything else under the sun. Now, where we started and left off this discussion is in our last podcast was discussing QuickBooks and the various Intuit products. We specifically looked at QuickBooks Online, which is Intuit's probably largest compelling offering for the accounting package at the moment. We're going to pick up that discussion today looking specifically at QuickBooks Desktop, its functions, its use, how it can be used, as well as the enterprise products and more. Now, from there, we're going to go ahead and take the conversation and look at other accounting products that maybe you're not familiar with. Specifically, we'll take a look at Xero, this wonderful accounting package and product out of Wellington, New Zealand, a place near and dear to my heart, a former hometown of mine. We'll take a look at Wave, which is now a product of H&R Block. We'll take a look at AccountingSuite, which most of you probably aren't, and unfortunately not familiar with. A product here out of California that is probably one of the better products for managing complex inventory and transactions and more, where it's best used and its major suite and services. We'll hop over the pond and go and take a look at Sage and take a look at some of their major products and what their products such as Sage 300, Sage Intacct, and more can be useful and function with. We'll also tip the scales just ever so slightly and take a look and discuss Acumatica and some of the more enterprise level accounting packages, including Acumatica, Zoho, and others. So much more coming in our podcast for today. Now, we're going to dive into this presentation, but before we do, I just want to remind you, if you are a financial professional, you can earn credits for watching or listening to today's podcast. It's super simple. After watching or listening, head on over to cpetoday.com and you will take a quick 5-question exam and you will earn a credit for today's class. It's super simple. It's a great way. Let's say you're watching, maybe on the train ride into work, or you're listening to the podcast on the drive into the office. Okay, you get there, you go to cpetoday.com. Today's course code is SBS4. You take a 5-question quiz, you got a credit. How easy is that for maintaining your license? In fact, if you're a new listener to CP Today, welcome. How about you get a credit from us for free? You're going to use coupon code ONEFREEPODCAST. Okay, you can take it for this course or any of the other CPE Today offerings and get a credit on us. Thank you so much for being here, folks. I'm going to join you back at the end of our presentation and discussion for today, where we're going to have 3 quick review questions and then wrap up. Enjoy our discussion. Now, what about desktop? We're not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on desktop. I will point out they still offer the full suite of accounting products for desktop on-premise users, Pro, Premier, and Enterprise. Okay. I will say the reports of its death have been greatly exaggerated by myself and many other people, but I will say they're not putting the money into this like they used to. 3 million businesses run QuickBooks Desktop. I will point out over 20 million businesses run QuickBooks Online, so you can again see where they're putting their effort. And at the price points, they still provide a lot of functionality for not a lot of money. And the fact that it's not cloud and you can own the license is still very attractive to many people. And a lot more professionals, accountants and bookkeepers are more familiar with desktop than QBO because they got 20 years of experience with it. I would tell you, learn both. Maintain the status quo, but plan for the future. Now, you got Pro, Premier, and Enterprise. Pro is the low end of the solution. Target market, businesses up to $1 million in revenue, no more than 20 employees, and no more than 3 people accessing it simultaneously. It can do job costing, progress invoicing, inventory, back orders for both. And it comes in at about $399 for a subscription license if you want to buy it, or $299 if you want to subscribe to it. The subscription also includes tech support, upgrades, and backups as well. Now, Premier, that's if you're going to buy the solution, I would say either Premier or Enterprise. Premier is designed for organizations up to $5 million in revenue. It can have 5 users accessing it simultaneously and concurrently. It's got all the features in Pro, but it also includes inventory assembly items, sales order tracking, creating sales orders from estimates, price items, and price listing. And it also introduces the inventory industry specific. So nonprofit, point of sale, construction, those versions are going to be there. It comes in at $649 if you want to buy it, or if you want to license it at $500 per year, but it also includes the support, the upgrades. Now we have their Enterprise. It's not an enterprise level product. It's really just a little bit bigger than Premier. Premier's, this big, Enterprise is like that big. So, you're not getting a ton more with it. Okay, up to 10 million in revenue, 250 employees, and up to 30 simultaneous users. You will find that if you have 30 simultaneous users in it, you are going to get a very poor experience. I would say it really caps out at about half that, at about 15. In addition, it does give you a couple of extra functions, okay? So it gives you a free license to the QODBC platform. QODBC is a tool that you can use to be able to extract data in and out of your QuickBooks file. I showed this to you earlier. Okay, so with QODBC, you can install this on your computer, and it gives you the ability to be able to extract data from QuickBooks directly into Excel, directly into Power BI. Well, this product, just so you can start associating value with some of this, comes in at, I believe, let's see, what does it come in at? It comes in at, let's say like $200 a year. Okay, $149 for read only, $200 if you want read write. So you can associate some of this value with the Enterprise with that additional software license that you will get with it. Okay, it gives you multi-company reporting. It works okay. It's not good enough to do any sort of serious consolidation work, but if you're looking to infer and do fair market value, it'd be okay. I do like that it includes role-based security, where you can, for example, create a role for let's just say, for example, your APA clerk, and then put people into that role. It's better for handling user privileges. And it also gives you additional inventory options. Now, their pricing, they've got 3 tiers. They've got silver, gold, and platinum. Okay, pricing is about $180 per user per month, starting, depending on what version of the tool that you get. Now, depending on your specific needs, I'd say it'd probably be between Premier and Enterprise, with, I would say, Premier being the overall best value for your investment. I will point out, and most people don't know this, that if you create a file in one version, you can easily open it in any of the other versions going up. So you can open up a Premier file in Enterprise and be able to interact with it that way. Now, for a accounting professional, it's definitely worth considering, for example, the Pro Advisor program. You get definite price breaks if you're choosing to get licenses to this for your firm. Now, alternatives to QuickBooks, there vary, and there's a ton to choose from. I would say the biggest competitor program to QBO that's online would be Xero. Xero, unfortunately, does not have a very large footprint here in the United States, but it is massive overseas. Xero is a UK-based company. They have been in the cloud accounting space just about as long as Intuit has, and their solution has been found to be very popular outside of North America. You'll find this a lot, for example, in Europe. You'll find it a lot in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, in some Asian markets as well. It definitely has a bigger emphasis on international and I would say kind of IFRS style accounting than you would see here in US GAAP-based accounting. However, I will point out it absolutely does GAAP-based accounting. I don't want to give you the wrong impression in that. It's just, where did it originate from? Well, it originated outside the US, so that's kind of where its emphasis has been. Now, Xero was based and designed on the principle that small businesses are highly sensitive to shifts in their balance sheet and cash flow. And so their tools are really kind of around monitoring financial performance and real-time calculation and allowing organizations to be able to plan ahead. Their tools are really kind of designed to fit the needs of small business. And it's unfortunate that they don't have a larger market share than what they do here in North America, because in my opinion, I like QBO a lot, but I will tell you there are many aspects about the Xero platform in general that I think are better fit for small business, many of which that I'm going to go ahead and talk about here today. So Xero has a number of solutions and functionalities kind of all built around managing your business. And it's a full-blown accounting package: AR, AP, general ledger, payroll, and more. I think out of the box, it's probably easier to use and easier to set up than QBO. Where I think QBO probably has the advantage over Xero is more on the marketing side, and the fact that more people are familiar with it and more people know about it. So Xero was kind of built with three things that small business accounting should be able to deliver: up-to-date information, quality advice, and a single ledger. So businesses should always be able to understand their current profitability and cash flow, how much money they have, where their money's going, who owes them. As such, the business intelligence side of Xero is pretty good in terms of giving business owners the insight necessary to run their business effectively. They also focus on connecting businesses with bookkeeping experts. Like QBO, Xero has its own accountants program that you can apply to and join that will give you similar style access that you would get with QBOA, but with Xero-based clients. And they do an active attempt, just like Intuit does, to pair practitioners with potential business. And they also focus on the single ledger. Instead of accountant professionals manually collecting the documents and compiling a set of accounts, that they should work collaboratively with each other to come up with a single set of records at any given time. And so they've created kind of a really good collaborative cloud-based solution that's a good second choice if you're not finding Intuit's QBO to be an effective program. And I will also point out it's at a much better price point. So it's got a lot of accounting tools, reporting tools, really good for small business. Their footprint is not nearly as large as Intuit's, only about, I said 2 million, looks to be about more close, like 2.5 million. Oh, sorry, 2.5 million across the world, but only about 251,000 in North America. I apologize for that. I guess I just misinterpreted the numbers when I saw that. Their footprint here in North America is quite small. Now, all subscription options provide access to all fundamental accounting and reporting tools, unlike QBO, where you see these huge price differentials, in order to get the functionality you need. Xero, I'm not going to say it's a buffet, but, you get a lot better functionality, or you get at least the base functionality to do all methods of accounting. And depending on your subscription, you could also get some additional features like their expense claims, allows you to do expense tracking, which is pretty cool. But I will tell you, when it comes to using additional tools with expense tracking, my preference has always been Expensify. I just think overall that's probably the best product out there. So you might find that's nice. So one of the benefits of, QuickBooks has expense tracking as well. But the benefit is that it is all integrated with the accounting solution versus Expensify, which I think is a better tool, but it's a separate tool. So it's another fee that you have to pay. And again, it's not implemented. If it meets the needs, that might be worth it for an extra $2 or $3 a month. Now, with respect to the pricing for Xero, you've got early, growing, and established. Now, their early plan is $11 per company per month. So already we're at a much more attractive price point than what you get with QBO. Okay, this lets you send quotes into 20 invoices per month. You can enter 5 bills per month. You can reconcile 20 bank statements. Okay, does not give you multi-currency, does not give you the ability to manage and track expenses, and it does not give you any sort of project tracking or management. So I'm not going to tell you this is a full system, but it does give you the full accounting package, full general ledger, journal entries, things like that. So you're already ahead of where you were going to get at QBO at a better price point. Okay, the next level is going to be growing. This is $32 per company per month. Okay, unlimited invoicing, bills, bank reconciliations, and quotes. You can capture bills and receipts with their HubDoc functionality. However, it does not provide multi-currency, expense claims, or project tracking and management. Okay, the established is going to be the most feature-rich, and it's going to be comparable to QuickBooks Online. Plus, this comes in at $60 per company per month. Also gives you the ability to run multiple currency, and it does provide all the stuff listed above, including project tracking and management. So regardless if you're with QuickBooks or you're with Xero, these are your two biggest companies in this space by far. I mean, you're going to be in it at least $60 the way I look at it. Now, here are some things that kind of make Xero a compelling offering, okay? All of their subscriptions include unlimited users and unlimited customer support, automatic backups, and you can cancel at any time. QBO, not the same. You know, with the Online Plus, I think you get 5 users, and with the Advanced, you get 25 users. Also, you don't get the ability to have unlimited accounts with either one of those tools versus here. You're going to get a lot more flexibility for what you need, and you're also going to get the backups, and you can cancel. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about accounts there. What I was trying to think for, and I couldn't grasp it in my head, was with QuickBooks, you're agreeing to terms. They offer preferential pricing if you agree to pay and agree to use it for a year. Xero, cancel at any time. If you don't like it, okay. It provides full financial reporting capabilities, so you get access to all the standard reports that you would expect that you do not get with QuickBooks Online. It provides fixed asset, depreciation, employee expense processing, mobile access, inventory functionality, and there is a good ecosystem of third-party tools. It's not as big as QuickBooks, but there's still products and services for just about everything out there. So overall, I would say from a kind of value-added position, it's got more stuff than what you would expect for a solution at equal pricing. Now, a recent change involving Xero. Previously, Xero included payroll as part of their service offering. Okay, but only about half the states in the US were supported. So it would support some stuff, but not everything, which could be very frustrating, if you're in a place and, it doesn't support that for you. So now Xero offers Gusto's full service payroll as an add-on. So they dropped their own payroll functionality and they added Gusto's full service payroll functionality as an additional fee. Gusto provides payroll covering all 50 states, and it begins at $39 plus $6 per month per person. So for $40, you get in, and then if you had 2 employees, you'd have an additional $12 for that. But it's full service payroll, which I think to be pretty cool in the fact that it will support that. Now, some different things that differentiate Xero from other products. Monthly subscription, unlimited number of users. The recent change gives you full service payroll for all 50 states. I will point out that Intuit's QBO program also includes a full service option. It's about the same price. It might be a little bit more expensive, actually. Okay. It also has a great set of tools for external accountants. Here's some of the other stuff that you can get. Okay, there's Xero HQ and practice management solutions. They have Xero work papers. There's Xero Plus C, their cash book ledger. They've got a whole range of tools to support professional firms as well. So what are its strengths? In my opinion, out of the two of them, it's easy to use. It's very affordable. It's got good reporting functionality at all levels of the application, not only the upper tiers. It's got a good ecosystem of third-party tools that you might want to consider, and a great program for professional accountants to be able to effectively manage this when they're working with their clients. And the third-party tools, both on the Intuit side as well as the Xero side, make it so that you can integrate this in with a larger ecosystem of stuff that clients want to use, so that when a sale occurs in one place, it gets recorded into the accounting system. A customer gets created in the customer relationship system. It gets created in the accounting system as well. Those third-party tools are increasingly important as we start to look at the power and functionality that comes with cloud operations. Now, as great as it is, okay, compared to QBO, it's a pretty small number of people using it. And it's really kind of newly adopted companies that are most likely able to acquire it. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have a single client that uses Xero, although I think many of them would benefit from it. And the reason is probably lack of awareness than anything else. And if I would say the other reason, it's kind of like a chicken and egg thing. You know, I need somebody who knows how to use it, but I can't necessarily train anybody to use it because nobody knows how to use it. So then nobody uses it when they probably should be. Some of the terminology does require localization. As I mentioned, it was originally created outside of the United States, so it doesn't have all the U.S. specific stuff that you would come to expect in terms of some of the titling. It's gotten better, though. In the last 2 years, 3 years, it has been better. Comment came in here. We have one client on Xero and 80 to 100 on QBO. I wish more use Xero, and I can sympathize because once you use it, you're like, oh, this is pretty nice. This is a pretty good solution. Okay, best fit for companies that use Xero. It's great for a full, robust cloud accounting functionality, fixed assets, strong financial reporting. It's good for industries that are service-oriented. Very similar to QBO in that respect. I mean, there's not a massive difference, for example, between one or the other in terms of who it's designed for. Professional organizations, consulting firms, online organizations with low complexity of their inventory, small manufacturing. I would say it's a little bit better on the inventory, but not much. None of these tools at that SMB level, small SMB level, are really designed for high complexity of inventory, with only a few exceptions. But where it is strong is the fact that it does have that ecosystem of other apps, and there are a number of inventory solutions that plug directly into Xero as well. Okay. Let's talk through our next solution, which is going to be Wave Accounting. Now, Wave Accounting, Wave in general, that's how we'll refer to it here, in terms of news, is now owned by H&R Block. I don't know how I feel about that, I'm going to be honest. So H&R Block bought it, and they now operate it as a free, that's right, 100% free, cloud-based accounting solution for small businesses. And it is surprisingly okay. I'm not going to say it's fantastic, but it's surprisingly okay. It's probably the okayest of solutions I've seen. And you know what? Beggars can't be chooser. And it's a very okay product for its price. However, I will point out that it doesn't have anywhere near the power and functionality that you would expect from other solutions, but again, it's free. So if you're looking for a price-conscious solution for maybe your nonprofit, maybe your HOA board, Boy Scout group, something like that, and you don't want to come out of pocket for something, Wave might be a choice for you. Now, some of the things I do like about this, the bank feeds are pretty cool. Works exactly the way you would expect. It has good fundamental reporting. It can be used, for example, by external accountants and bookkeepers that can clean up a client shoeboxes, as they call them. Subscribers can also access paid features that are not included with the standard accounting package, like payroll and payment services. So with Wave, you can run payroll in this. You can also process credit cards for this, but they do charge a fee related to it. Payroll costs a little bit, and then they charge a percentage, just like any credit card processor would for credit card processing. Okay, where's its strength here? By far, the strength is going to be in the fact that it is free. It's enough to say it's an accounting solution. It means enough to meet the needs of small businesses. If you asked me, would I rather have QuickBooks Self-Employed or the Simple Start or the Wave application, I would say the functionality is comparable between the both. And considering how bad the lower tiered versions of QBO are, maybe this might be a better solution because at least you're not having to pay for it. Now, other benefits here, it's strong reporting. I mean, it's pretty good on the reporting side to at least get you your standard reports out of there. It supports bank feeds, also good. I mean, so it doesn't really have to be complex for people who don't necessarily like accounting. It's a great way of at least being able to get your base reports and base general ledger functionality. And it's also got a moderately good ecosystem of paid services like the payment processing and payroll functionality that make it appropriate, again, for really small businesses. Okay, issues. Nobody uses this. It's very, very tiny, very little brand recognition. little market recognition. I could see a potential issue being H&R Block. You know, if I was a professional accounting firm that did a lot of tax returns, I wouldn't want to be necessarily handing my clients over to a accounting solution owned by the largest tax preparation company in the United States. I wouldn't feel good about that. But then again, at the same time, Intuit owns TurboTax, which is probably the largest tax preparation company in the United States. So I guess half a dozen of one and the other. I mean, you know, I guess there's a sword, again, that will cut both directions. Outside of the integrations that they provide, there are very few integrations that are available for this solution, and hopefully they add some more in the future. Now, what are some companies that are a good fit for Wave? Organizations that are looking for what? I want free as in free speech solutions. So anybody that's price conscious, this would be a good solution for them. I will tell you, I'm sure we've all had that client that walks in on, March 30th with a big old laundry bin of receipts, and says, make a set of records out of this. If they're not going to, pay for the accounting services, I'd probably point them to this saying, here, key all this stuff in and create your own set of books and records. So if this is the choice between having no records or getting a big old laundry basket full of receipts, I would definitely choose this, but not by much. Small businesses, under 20 members, relatively simple accounting complexity, service-oriented organizations, service firms, small nonprofits could all be candidates here, and companies that do not have a need or desire for really any third-party integrations. It's a simple solution, and its biggest strength is the fact that it is a free solution. Now, our next solution we're going to look at is AccountingSuite. Now, AccountingSuite, relatively new player in the market. It's a San Francisco-based company, started in 2012, so they're coming up on their 10th anniversary here. They provide a pretty robust cloud accounting solution that's a bit more robust than some of the other tools that we mentioned here. Still very much a entry-level product, small SMB product, but it does have a little bit more functionality than what you'll see in Xero or QBO. Now, in addition to its core functionality, which includes all the stuff you would expect, general ledger, AP, AR, it also has inventory and project and time-based tracking. So it has better inventory complexity than what you'll see with some of the other tools there. And many would consider it, for example, to be slightly more sophisticated than a Xero or QuickBooks Online. AccountingSuite also offers different plans to meet the wide range of different companies, and it offers unlimited access to external companies, accountants, and bookkeepers. So, I can, as a professional accountant, be able to access my client's books and records, and it won't cost the firm or the client anything to let me get access to that as well. Now, here are some of their plans. As with many other services, these plans kind of help let a client self-select what level of plan that they're looking for, whether they're a startup company all the way up to a professional company. Startup, about $20 per month. Professional at about $55 per month. Startup, you get one user and kind of some limited functionality. Your professional is where you're going to get all the functionality plus the inventory functionality that goes with it. Now, what's also kind of cool about this tool is they got an e-commerce plan coming in at $129 per month, and it includes the professional edition of this plus some really good e-commerce tools. And the e-commerce is okay. I mean, it's not going to give you every functionality, and it's not designed for crazy complex sales experiences. But if you're selling relatively homogeneous products, limited configuration, limited attributes, and you're just looking to get online, this is a good solution. And it also helps you save an extra step in terms of the reporting, because the accounting solution is also the e-commerce solution. So if you have a relatively standard operating procedure for your company, you'll probably find this to be a pretty good solution overall. Now, where is it strong? Well, it's strong functionality pretty much across the board. I would definitely say its inventory functionality is probably the best overall. It's good for small service-oriented organizations. It's got simplified pricing. Overall, pretty good solution. Its downside, again, not very widely known. There's not a lot of people who know this, so finding somebody who has experience working with this solution will be quite difficult. I don't think it's a super hard solution to learn. I mean, it's relatively straightforward, but, often when I'm trying to hire accounting people, I'm hiring experience. I don't want to have to, and often accounting people are going to want to walk into a solution they already know. But if you're looking for something with inventory complexity, this is the best out of the tools we're looked at. They also have very limited integration with third-party tools. There's not a lot that it ties into. Now you can, for example, tie an AvaTax into this. So if you're looking to do sales tax reporting, you could tie that in, but you're going to need the professional version of the application for the inventory module to get the sales tax compliance module that goes along with it. And AvaTax is $50 per year for up to 250 transactions, and then $95 per year for not 500 transaction. $200 per year for 1,500 transactions. So, and it goes up from there. If you're doing a ton of complex sales, you're going to definitely want something like this. And then you're also going to want that sales tax compliance module in order to be able to tie it in correctly. Okay, let's continue our tour and let's talk about Sage and some of Sage products here. Now, like Xero, Sage is based out of the UK. It is not a US company. However, they've had a strong presence here in the United States for many years. One of the things I've found in my travels and working with companies all over the United States, I have found that Sage is not prevalent out here on the West Coast. You won't find it pretty much anywhere. But you find it a ton in the South, and you find it a lot on the Eastern Seaboard, and you kind of find QuickBooks out here. So I would say like Sage is the QuickBooks of the East Coast is where I've found it most often. I found a lot in like Georgia, Louisiana, down that area. It's a lot more prevalent. And I think that's really kind of because Sage bought Peachtree, and I think that's where Peachtree had more adoption. But out west, I mean, I really never came across any of Sage products until I started being an instructor and working with firms kind of all over. I'd love to know what your experience has been. Leave me a comment if you've used Sage products and where you're located so I can continue my lifelong inference of where certain accounting solutions have a stronghold. Now, Sage has several different products, and they've changed a ton over the years. Peachtree became Sage 50. They purchased Mass 90, Mass 900, or Mass 200. These became the Sage 100 products as well. And they've also included some of their own stuff as well. They've got some additional tools that you'll find like Sage Intacct and the Sage 300 Cloud. They kind of have their own ecosystem. Now, Sage definitely has some specific applications for some specific stuff. Their small business stuff is definitely the Sage 50C and the Sage 100 applications. That's going to be your Peachtree and your base Mass 90 as well. Okay, so on the Sage 50, some of the key functionality that you would expect from the Sage 50 platform is the fact that it's cloud-based. It's anytime, anywhere. It gives you the ability to create, quotes and invoices. It gives you the ability to manage cash flow, send invoices, link invoices, multi-user access, all the major stuff that you would come to expect in a cloud-based accounting solution would be present in that Sage C. There's really not a lot of differentiating factors between this and the other small business accounting solutions. Okay, so other solutions that Sage makes would be the Sage Intacct. Okay, now Sage Intacct provides robust accounting functionality to a wide range of different solutions, from accounting firms, franchises, healthcare, hospitality, not-for-profits, things of this nature. And with the Sage Intacct product, some of the major differentiating associations with this are inventory, okay, custom report writing, revenue recognition tools, subscription billing, and they also provide HIPAA compliance. So if you have like a healthcare provider, this might be a better tool for you. Now, Sage Intacct also excels at multi-entity financial management and consolidated financial reporting. Okay, so what this means is if you got clients, that have to come together in a consolidation. I have one client, they're like 6 different entities of companies with one set of consolidated books and records. They use QuickBooks. This would be a better solution for them because you can map the trial balance between these different entities and produce a single set of books and records, which are pretty nifty. Now, it supports anywhere from 1 to 1,000 users. It provides multi-company support, multi-currency support. Multi-jurisdictional. So if you have multiple jurisdictions you're responsible to, you can create role-based authentication and security, record sales receipts, and track AR and receivables. You could track your bills and payable integration. I mean, pretty much all the stuff that you would come to expect. Biggest thing here is really kind of on the compliance standards and the integration for multiple companies listed. Now, on the higher end of this, we got the Sage 300 Cloud. Okay, this is optimized for a larger number of businesses than what you would get with the standard Sage 50 and the Sage 100. I know some folks were asking earlier, hey, can you make a recommendation for construction companies? This would definitely be it. I would say Sage 300 Cloud or Acumatica are probably the best solutions overall for construction firms. Open Systems also makes some pretty good solutions as well, but that might be a little bit bigger than what you would expect. But their inventory, their progress billing, their, kind of stuff that makes, construction, work in progress type organization, manufacturing organizations run. Well, I mean, a lot of this came out of the Mass 90 and Mass 200 programs. Now, it also adds multi-company, international capabilities, the ability to do foreign currency, gain-loss calculation on this. And it also provides some pretty good integration points with other Sage products, Sage CRM, Sage Inventory, their Sage Payment Solution for payment processing, their AP automation tool, and their Sage e-commerce. The pricing on this is really going to kind of vary depending on what you get, number of users. This would probably be a pretty good solution, and the price isn't dramatic for what you need. Now, some new features that are in Sage 300 that you're not going to get in other tools. They've got a number of BI tools in here for business intelligence and reporting. They've got a built-in customer relationship management system. The whole thing is web-based, anytime, anywhere access, the AP automation, e-commerce. I mean, it's really, probably a really good starting to get into the mid-tier accounting product. It's a nice, easy introduction, especially if you're using some of the other Sage products. Now, Sage 300, one of the other things that's really kind of cool about this is that how you can get it, okay? With QuickBooks Online, your option is only to get QuickBooks Online. That's the only way it's offered. Well, Sage offers this one of three ways. So you have Sage 300. So if you want to do this on-premise in your local office or in a hosted environment that is controlled by your office, like in your own AWS account or Azure account, great. Knock your socks off, have a nice life. You can buy it even, and it's a perpetual license to use it. Okay, so it works great, and you can actually own it. Now, on the other side, you can go to Sage 300. It's got a hosted version. It's a subscription. You pay for it per month, and you can operate it in the same way that you would operate any of the other cloud-based accounting solutions. Now, here's what's kind of cool. That Sage 300C is like a hybrid between the two of them, which I think is pretty nifty. It's a cloud-connected solution. It's still subscription, and it's got a bunch of cloud stuff, but it's still something that you can control. And it kind of is the best of both worlds, which I find to be pretty nifty. Overall with respect to, I like having that flexibility, and it kind of lives in both universes, which is pretty cool. Okay. Now, a couple other accounting solutions that are worth mentioning. We've kind of left with Sage 300. We've kind of left now the world of small business accounting. We're starting to work our way up. When it comes to the next tier, in terms of like the next step up from your small business to like the next level, I have two recommendations for people. The first is going to be Dynamics 365. I like this solution. I find it to be very robust. I find it have a lot of features and functionality. And with Dynamics, it's not just an accounting solution, but it's like a full management solution for a business. It's more than just the accounting, but really kind of providing a full set of tools to manage small and medium businesses. It's available in two different editions, 365 and then their Business Central. And really, it's more than a QBO. It's like the next step up. It provides a whole wealth of additional tools besides just an accounting package, including enterprise resource planning capabilities, customer relationship management, help desk, support, HR, you name it, And with Microsoft, I mean, one of the things that you're going to get with this is the fact that it is really integrated tightly with the rest of the Microsoft ecosystem. And it's got a lot of things with respect to the fact that it ties in with pretty much everything else that Microsoft is doing. So if you're using a lot of Microsoft-centric stuff at the moment, I think you'll find that this solution works fairly well, and it offers a lot more complexity with your accounting system than you would get with some of the other simpler tools like a Xero or a Wave, certainly, or even QBO for that matter. It's often the tool I recommend when you need to go the next step up with respect to what you get. It integrates in with a lot of different stuff. Certainly all the Microsoft stuff. You can integrate it in with Outlook, for example, and create a business inbox that'll manage your quotes and invoices without ever having to leave Outlook. It also integrates perfectly, as you would expect, with Microsoft Excel, so you can easily export information out from one to the other. And it's also got a pretty wide ecosystem of third-party tools that you might want to consider too. Apps for just about anything. The apps are available at Microsoft's central app store called App Source, which is their marketplace for third-party apps. And frankly, Microsoft is definitely the largest player in this space. So, when it comes to third-party integrations, they probably have the best overall. Now, 365, I would say this is great for businesses looking to seek increased performance, looking to manage all aspects of their organization, from sales to accounting to operational effectiveness and efficiency, and every step in between. Overall, pretty good solution on the next step up. Okay, then let's see. We've got about 5 minutes left. I want to mention, I'm going to say 2 more tools if I can try to get through these quickly that are worth looking at. A solution that not a lot of accountants are familiar with, that in my opinion gets overlooked, mostly just lack of brand awareness, is Acumatica. Acumatica, in my opinion, is probably my favorite out of the ones that are listed here because it is a very easy solution to use, has some really good vertical markets that it supports. Its pricing is killer, and it's more than just an accounting system. It's like a full management solution. So I've got some information here that was originally taken from another conference that we did from the Acumatica Summit that I thought I might share. Now, Acumatica really excels in the sense that it is used in a wide range of industries, and they've got more functionality than what you get with the traditional small business. So, here's your QBO, here's your Xero. Dynamics is a little bit higher. Acumatica is definitely going to be that mid-market, beginning of the mid-market there. Okay. They've got solutions designed around manufacturing, retail, wholesale, distribution services, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, I like this because you can run it either 100% in-house on your own servers, on your own private cloud, or you could get it hosted through a number of other providers. VARs host it. You can also get it hosted on AWS or Azure. And I like the fact that there are some use cases where, as much as I like cloud technology, it makes more sense to be able to host it internally. It's a very developer-friendly focused approach where you can really kind of optimize it to meet whatever needs of the organization are. They've got a really robust database, a really robust API, and a good ecosystem of developer tools to build it out to meet the needs of any organization. As I mentioned, it's never been a better time to consider custom software for your business. And this is a solution like an unfinished suit. I can, instead of getting something 100% custom tailor-made where they cut in the fabric from the ground up, I get something that's rough, unfinished. And as a developer, I can put the cuffs on. I can put and make it a single-breasted or double-breasted. I can design this to meet whatever the customer specifications are much easier than I could other solution. It's also got a really good CRM, so if you want to integrate it on the sales side, you can. Its sweet spot is really between 20 and 200 million in revenue, with a certain more complexity degree of accounting than you get with these other solutions. So overall, it's a really good solution to consider. It's a solution that allows for pretty good service and features at a pretty compelling price point and the ability to be able to customize it. They've got a couple special editions which are worth mentioning. Kind of in the same way that QuickBooks Desktop has their Premier, Acumatica has their different editions of this that are intended to focus on providing specified functionality to specific vertical markets, like their Field Service Edition. which is great. For example, dealing with people working out in the field. You could do scheduling, dispatch, equipment maintenance, tracking warranties, service contracts. It does real-time GPS, route planning for your drivers. They've got a commerce edition that's all about selling online as well as in person. Full set of tools for financial management, really good inventory control, really good order management. They've got commerce shoppers. So their commerce connector, which will connect to both Magento and Shopify, which are two out-of-the-box e-commerce solutions. They don't provide e-commerce themselves, but rather they provide the accounting side of this to make the accounting easy for these online shopping groups. They've got product configures and as well as in fulfillment. Their manufacturing edition, in my opinion, probably has some of the best work in process accounting and that you could possibly get. Management for things like bill of materials, requirements planning and scheduling of people, estimating. You could do complex products with this for their product configure as well as their product management. And also they have their construction. As a couple folks have asked, like, hey, is there something specific to construction? Well, I would say this or kind of the Sage tools would be your best bet. And for this, project accounting, cost accounting, compliance, inventory, integrations to other major tools out there in the market. Now, one of the reasons I really, really like Acumatica is the pricing. The pricing is based on capabilities needed and not user count. So if you have a big company, it's just based off of what you actually are going to be used. The base installation of Acumatica Financials, their advanced edition, which will support about 25 financial users, is at about $1,100 a month, which is very compelling. Okay. That's about what you would get for the base edition of QuickBooks Enterprise in some respects. And implementation costs usually run about 100% of the first year software purchase costs. They have a bunch of add-on modules you can get. They cost more, as you would expect. But, if you need CRM, wholesale, manufacturing, field service, you're going to buy those tools anyway. And 100% of their sales are made through channel partners or OEM relationships. You have to work through somebody. It's intended to kind of be a more high-touch product, but overall, it's a really, really good solution to consider. So, thankfully, I think we hit just about everything that I wanted to touch upon today. There are some additional tools that are presented here in the materials, but we covered the major solutions that I consider to be a more complete accounting package. Other solutions that you might want to consider for your cloud accounting for small and medium businesses might be other tools like Cashew or FreshBooks or Accounting Power or Payroll Relief. You might want to consider maybe a platform-based approach where you get a whole suite of tools. Zoho, which we've long recommended from K2 for small and medium business, recently started providing financial tools, which are pretty cool too. The Zoho finance tools, as well as their subscription tools, inventory tools, and checkout tools are also kind of cool to work out as well. So lots of options here. You are no shortage supply of really kind of cool tools to consider for your organization. So in summary for this, cloud-based accounting applications, there are a lot of options for all size organizations. It's a bright ecosystem for small and medium businesses. Once kind of shunned by accountants, I think a lot of these solutions are becoming certainly more mainstream. The marketplace is more than just QuickBooks. There are a handful, I would say probably 3 to 4 major platforms that you can consider beyond QuickBooks itself, with Xero being the closest competitor. Some of the Sage products would treat you well. And there's also the ability to grow into some bigger solutions. I wouldn't turn you away from looking at, again, like a Dynamics 365 as well, or certainly Acumatica. Often, if you think you're going to grow into it, it's better to grow into a bigger suit earlier than to try to shoehorn in a smaller suit after the fact. So if you feel like you're going to grow, you might want to consider some of the larger solutions like Dynamics 365 and Acumatica right from the get-go. To be successful selecting the software, understand what you're doing, understand the needs of the client, make sure you select the right provider. And with the information you gathered, and hopefully with the additional materials presented here with some of the other products, hopefully you'll find something that works well for you. Colleagues, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our discussion. What a lively one it is, looking at the various different accounting products and solutions that are out there. There are tools for just about every possible walk of life, every possible business, from small mom and pop shops selling ice cream and t-shirts to enterprise business and more. We took a particular look here with our small business, but even within that landscape, there's so many different incredible tools to consider using inside your organization. So let's go ahead and round out our discussion with 3 quick review questions, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Our first review question: what is the maximum number of users allowed in QuickBooks Enterprise, specifically Enterprise, at any given time? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 30? The correct answer here, of course, is 30. So for QBE, for those users, you can have 30 simultaneous people running reports, entering bills, paying employees, cutting checks, and more. Our second review question: how is payroll provided in Xero? Okay, so Xero, that amazing award-winning accounting cloud-based solution, what can it do? Does it offer payroll? The answer is yes. So the first one is not correct. Does it include payroll at no additional cost? No, that's not correct. Okay, so the correct answer here is actually number 2. Xero partners with Gusto to provide integrated payroll options. So if you're looking for a wonderful payroll solution, consider Xero, which is powered by Gusto. Our third review question: which of the following statements is true regarding Wave? Okay, so what's true with Wave? Is it owned by H&R Block? You bet it is. Wave subscriptions are available at no charge. The correct answer here is both. So that particular solution was purchased very recently by H&R Block, and they make the base version of their application free, although they do have some add-on tools that you can consider adding into addition to your use of Wave. Now, that does bring us to the end of at least this part of the series. We, over the course of 4 episodes, have explored a number of these incredible small business accounting tools, from looking at the standards, such as the Intuit products and QuickBooks, to today looking at Xero, Wave, and other solutions. We also spent a fair amount of time understanding and discussing how you're going to choose an accounting package that'll be right for your organization, both now and in the future. Now, we're not done here. I'm sure we're going to revisit this land at some point in the very near future. We'll probably dive into some of these solutions in particular and understand exactly where and how they fit in. In fact, we've already started that. We've done 2 recent episodes on Xero. And if you haven't checked those out before, definitely do so. It's a wonderful accounting solution, definitely worth your time and effort. Now, as a reminder, you can earn credit for watching or listening to today's podcast. Super simple, cpetoday.com. And today's course is SBS4. And if you're watching after the fact, you'll just take a quick 5-question quiz and you will earn a credit for today's class. And in fact, if you're a new listener or watcher, welcome. We're so happy and thankful that you're here. Use coupon code ONEFREEPODCAST and you can get a free CPE credit for today or any other podcast if you're choosing. Again, 1 free podcast, and you'll enter that coupon at checkout. If you enjoyed our podcast and you want to support the channel, we'd love for you to do so. Consider following us on social media. You can find us just about everywhere at CPE Today, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and more. We're doing our best to post relevant and topical news for the profession and things we think you should know, as well as promotions and other relevant news with our business. And if you enjoy listening, guess what? You can subscribe. You can find us wherever you happen to get your content, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and more. We'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, let us know what you think. Helps other people find the channel and find other competent news that will help them in their profession. As always, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to present this material to you. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you back in the office the next time around. Take care.